Well, my name is Oi-Wah Whitbourne. Um, as you could tell, Oi-Wah is like not a usual English name. So I'm Chinese by ethnic background. I was born in Hong Kong, and my family immigrated to Canada 40 some years ago, 1975, and to Toronto. And I became a Christian that same year. And after 7 years, I felt God wanted me to go into mission. So I went to Bible school in Three Hills, Prairie, and that's where I met my husband. And so we both were committed to serve God, and so we became missionaries. We spent about 14 years overseas, 9 years in the Philippines, about 5 years in India. We worked among the East Indians, Hindus. And then after that, I felt that I wanted to get some training in counseling, because in our work, I did do some informal counseling, and so then I came back to Canada, and I went to Providence, and I got my MA in counseling, and that was 2002. And we moved to Calgary because my husband became the director of our missions, and so we've been in Calgary since 2002, and so I was doing counseling and or in that capacity, member care and that sort of thing. So that's me, and I got approached to teach this course at family and marriage counseling at Alberta Bible College. So I started October 2018, and so I have done one each year. So this is the 5th time that I'm teaching the same course. So I guess in the last about 4 years. Well, as it's called, family and marriage counseling. So this is a course that students will be able to learn 2 main counseling therapies, which they are kind of quite different. One is called the Bowennian Family System Counseling, and that one is one of those earlier ones, almost like a grandfather type of foundational family system, and it has a lot of complicated elements to it, but then from there's a lot of newer therapies that come up. So that's almost like a foundational. And then the other one is almost opposite to the Bowennian family therapy. It's attachment based, so it's attachment theory. Many others are kind of come out from the attachment therapies or theory. So I basically teach these 2 basic therapies, and so students are kind of get to understand and know broader, like with the 2 being so opposite, you cover almost like anything out there. And also they have a better awareness of issues that family might be facing. Example like marital conflict, separation or divorce, cohabiting, gender, cultures, substance abuse, and that, I mean, it's a whole long list of things, which the textbook, this is the textbook that we use, and it gives quite a variety of issues that families are facing, and so students will be able to read that and have discussion in the class, and so they become aware of what's out there. And also, hopefully they have a better understanding of the biblical models also being mentioned in the textbook. So that's also gives some foundation. And also there are other leading family system counseling also in the textbook. Out of the 8, I would get students to read 3 and then write a bit of a summary on each one. And so they have a variety of things that they will learn, and hopefully they become a lot more broader minded. Like if that's a way to that I kind of envision, and that they will learn out of taking this course. I brought this book with me as well, and this is one of those that I kind of added to. Well, the course had designed that students would do oral presentation, but they used to kind of just pick whatever they want, and so I kind of changed that. Instead of like, sometimes they would pick something that maybe is not particularly relevant, or I'm not familiar with it myself, so I really don't quite know whether they're doing it right or wrong, because I have to trust whatever book that they read. So I kind of implemented this book. It's called Attachment-Based Family Therapy, and it has a number of chapters. So what I find is that when students do their oral presentations, I ask them to pick a chapter, and so then they would work on the oral presentation on that chapter. So by the time when people finish, if I have 7 students, we have 7 chapters covered, and in the sequence of the way it's arranged in the book, then they got the book. Like, once they listen to everybody and they have done one on their own, and so I find that a little bit more cohesive and more organized, and so I kind of like that. So I hope that also adds some feature to the students taking this course. Another thing I want to say is that with the PACE program, this is not, I wouldn't say students take this course, they are ready to put up a shingle and go and practice counseling. So I want to be very fair and very honest about it. But what I'm hoping is this definitely gives the foundation and something very, hopefully like a teaser, like if students are interested or wanting to go into counseling, this will be a good test of whether they really find it interesting, they want to go further study. And so I kind of keep that in mind, that I'm building a foundation, like a stepping stone for the students. And so I'm aware that students are not ready to go and do counseling, but this is a good start.